How a Hitler bust was found under French Senate. Yeah, Hitler's bust was, you can, I can't see it because of the recording, but you could see. So here's the thing with these busts and these statues, if you can't just destroy them. And that's what they did after the Holocaust, like all the Allies did, Russia, America, England, and was it France? No, was it France? Who am I thinking? Yeah, that were the Allies. So they went in. They had to do denazification because of all the brainwashing that was done. Well, all these statues of Hitler, okay, and I don't know how many there were. I should have looked that up, but many of them they just destroyed. They made the people destroy them even. So see, many of those, if you look into it, if you destroy them, then you release the spirit and it can have repercussions. Now, I'm not one that would normally believe that. However, I mean, Jesus did talk about test the spirits. And so just destroying them isn't, if you're going to do away with them, you usually have to do it in a certain way. I think burying them is another way. And then this was 2015 marble Hitler head unearthed. This one was in Poland in 2015. So somebody had buried this one. Obviously, they didn't go on to put them on displays, but I was thinking, like, why don't we just there's a reason. Because many times, especially like these JFK ones, these people do rituals you don't realize, and then if you just destroy it, then it really, when you look into it, it says it's dangerous. You need special people to handle this. Not the Catholic Church; they do the idling there, but that you don't want to just go destroying it because that's not the answer. Why do we bring this up? Well, because, everybody's making fun of Donald Trump's ark that he's going to put up. And I understand exactly why he's doing it. Again, because the JFK era, the continuation of this era went into JFK. Joe Kennedy didn't even want to go into World War II. That would have meant that all the Jews would have been annihilated. But he was a Nazi sympathizer. So, and, his boys turned out just like him, unfortunately. But JFK is larger than life. Okay? Larger than life. So this has been an idol used all over the world, just like the false idol of Mary that got it. They wrap around. No, it's all, the land is full of idols. So you can't just go destroying all of them because that can make things worse. That said, it's about lessening the power that they have. So if you look at Revelations, where it talks about the beast taking a mortal head wound, dying, and then all of a sudden being healed. Well, you could look at that a couple ways, because there's a couple of instances. And again, Revelations is playing out over many histories. It's not all happening at one time. If it was happening at one time, then you would catch on to it. Okay, it happens over many different generations. So it's the repeating pattern of a wound, because then later there's another wound, but the later beast wants you to worship the first beast. And who gives the beast power is the dragon. Who's the dragon? It's the Vatican. That's the Vatican. JFK was a Catholic. All of these idols would be, because that's the reason they make them. If you saw my video, or nobody sees any of my videos, but they make the idols worse, and well, they make them they have to always update them to look like he'd be 108 years old now. So that's why these busts, like this was somebody, I forget, it doesn't matter, okay? That one doesn't look as old, right? Because that was from a long time ago. So that's how you know it's occultism they're doing, because then it goes from this to this crazy shit. Because he would be like 108 years old. It's creepy. Okay, so they're everywhere. They're everywhere all over the world, okay? So you want to talk about an energy that carried on from Hitler into then you got the Catholic Church tied into that too. That's the dragon. So regarding Kennedy, JFK memorials and statues exist in cities like Dallas, Texas. They don't even know. If you ask AI, it doesn't even know there's so many statues of him. They don't even know. They don't know what the count is. As far as other countries, Montreal, England, Ireland, obviously, international sites, Jerusalem, Honduras, Argentina, Turkey, Monaco, Spain, and Italy. Some notable squares and parks named after JFK also feature statues or plaques, such as in European and Latin American cities. So they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Not to mention then all the streets and buildings named, okay? So they've gotten this whole thing that's gotten a whole bunch of power over this country. But that's okay. We're going to be, we're okay. So I think that really that's how the beast carries over. Then you can look at modern day. Obama's term was the beast still carrying over, because we got Obama Senior Jr. because he brought Obama Senior here. Yeah, isn't it great? So that's still carrying on. All the while, they still keep making these, and they do ritual. Yeah, it's a whole, there's a reason for all this. This is why God Almighty did not want any idols. I mean, I think he's okay, like with Lincoln, and nobody were. This is different. This is clearly different. And I just wanted to bring people's attention to something about the book of Revelations. After this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, "Come hither, and I will show you things which must be hereafter." And immediately I was in spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and sardine stone, which is like a sardius stone. When I looked into it, jasper and sardine stone. And there was a rainbow around the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. So basically saying that who sat on the throne looked like jasper and sardine stone. This is jasper. This is a sardius stone. When you mix those, not that, would be, but so I'm not really going to say anything more. If, I'll just leave that to your imagination. Okay? So the person that sits on the throne would be, based on what Apostle John said, of this color, somewhat, in this range. Okay? Just, putting it out there.